Alright, welcome back. I had quite a long night last night. Almost pretty much done with the list that I had for Glyph. So we've got the app here. I went through all of the original things that I had noted down that I wanted to take care of. So things like the model and chat paths work properly, and other things like adding a model path and viewing different models from that are working now. Just trying to figure out what else I fixed. And then the results of that, fixing those model paths did fix this downloading models error that I kept getting, and as well as whenever I were to add a remote model and then delete the remote model, I would still see it. But again, it was paths issues that are now solved and figured out. Same thing with deleting chats. Everything really related to that thing, and I'm so glad it's working now. I did also go through the settings, kind of reorganize them. I finally got like an idea of how I want the user to interact with turning on GPU support and stuff. So the idea is that I believe -1 for Llama C++, what I'm using as the backend for loading these models, allocates as much as you can to the GPU, whereas 0 just doesn't use the GPU at all. And then I've also made it to where it's like, okay, you want to use part of the GPU, you can go ahead and actually specify in which number you would like to use. So I could do like 20 here, and when I hit save, everything saves and it actually works. Well, I think it actually works. I still have to kind of verify. It seems like it does, but I'm not too sure. So yeah, a lot of the new issues are just kind of making sure that these inference parameters are actually taking effect, making sure that the Windows version, when I compile for Windows, actually works, making sure that the threads, CPU threads and GPU layers are actually taking place. I believe I can do that by going in and setting like the Llama C++ library using to like a verbose mode to view like different actual logs of what's happening. Optimize text on messages components. I was noticing while I was doing some testing that for long messages, it started to get a bit laggy, and whenever I would type in new messages into the chat, my overall UI would kind of just lag, and I want that to be a bit smoother experience. So we're gonna try and go through that. This other one, fix the database to have proper model data, like parameter size, add counter for the number of downloads. Basically just kind of going through and adding in the details for all of these different models. So like not the rating, because the rating I know will be just 0 by default. Let me open up my Fortify website real quick, and I'll make this full screen too. So things like on this model gallery thing where you can open up a model. Here's one. When viewing this page, things like the reviews and specifying a value here, making sure that actually shows up properly on this page, as well as things like the parameter size, likes, dislikes, and the number of downloads. I believe that this all should kind of just work right out the gate. The only thing is that the parameter size will need to run a script through my database. Basically just kind of looking at the different names is how I'm going to go about it, and if it has like a certain number and then a capital B or a lowercase b right after it, in between some dashes, then I know that that's the number of parameters that model has, and I can just input that into the database. And if there is none, then I will just leave it at 0, and then I can kind of go in and filter out those things myself. In general, I might get rid of a bunch of models. Oh, it says it here in the description. So I guess that's also another thing I could try and parse, is that if it says within the description the number of parameters, to sort of list out that value, and then by doing so, I'll kind of pick a few models and add do some testing myself, so that I can actually see that these filters work properly. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I kind of just came on here to give a general update. Got a lot of work to do. I'll probably do some more coding off camera, and then come back and just give a general update. Hey, my cheek. Oh, that's my keyboard. Okay, so I've got my database here right now, and I think the way I'm going to go about this is I'm going to fake some data so that way we can have like a clearer view of what's happening. Now, this is a repo that I had made to sort of try and figure out how I'm going about grabbing the models and putting them into the database, as well as sort of some upkeep, because there are some of these models that are uploaded to Hugging Face that are then sort of taken down, and that none of the links work, or a model is uploaded but one of the quantization versions was taken down, and so then that download link doesn't work anymore. So I kind of created some scripts to go ahead and clean and fix up the database. But anyways, we're gonna primarily be on this page, and we want to make it so that we are able to view the parameter numbers, and then I'm gonna add some fake data to, I'll say, like 15 models, just so I can get a sense of sorting on the page and stuff like that. Once we're done with that, then I think I can work on the filters and make sure these are actually good to go. I'm gonna make a GUI software tool for me to upkeep the models, just so that way I can have a fresh view and list of the models every single hour of any model that was uploaded to Hugging Face that is a GGUF model. And then I could probably have that script automatically run on my Fortify server, right? God damn. Or the server that runs the Fortify website to automatically populate and update these models. So in addition to the intro from last video being corrupted, this video, the outro got corrupted. I do need to get a new external hard drive, or this time an external SSD. I've kind of had this drive for a long time, so I can tell it's on its last legs. In general, some of the footage that was lost, it was just literally just me going through the things that I said I was doing, and even the video for tomorrow, kind of doing the same thing, trying to go through the list that I talked about and get everything working. Hopefully there will be no more confusion and drives failing, but in general, that kind of concludes the day. Short video. Same thing with tomorrow. I'll do a bit of a longer video sometime over the weekend when I have more time, running through and doing testing of the actual application itself and where it's at, and test some models and have some fun with it. Till then, stay tuned.